Hi everyone, I am Shelby Kane and this is my presentation on pedagogy, differentiated instruction in the classroom. I would like to go ahead and apologize for my voice as I have been sick the past couple days, but I am getting better. So moving on. So how important is it to meet our students' individual needs? So as people and teachers, how are we tailoring to our students and the different ways that they learn? Because every student is different, and if we want to maximize their success, then we have to tailor our instruction to our students that we're teaching, and that starts with getting to know our students. So what is pedagogy? According to my source, pedagogy is the art, science, or profession of teaching. This broad definition covers various aspects of teaching, and there are many moving parts to pedagogy that include teaching styles, feedback, and assessment. The term pedagogy boils down to the study of different teaching methods. Why is it important? Pedagogy, or differentiated learning, is important because every student is different, just as every person is different. There are many learning styles, students with disabilities, gifted students, and so many other types of students that instructors have to cater to on a day-to-day basis. If teachers don't recognize that every student learns differently, then the students aren't going to succeed in your classroom. So we'll move into IEPs, or Individualized Education Program. So what is an IEP? An IEP is a written document highlighting individuals' educational needs. The IEP sets learning goals for the student and highlights how the school and the district will meet those goals. How do we use the IEP? As teachers, we refer to the IEPs when developing lesson plans for the class, including accommodations or modifications that the students may need. We also use the IEP to keep track of our students' goals throughout the semester. So what kind of students have IEPs? All different types of students, actually. When first learning about IEPs, I thought it was only students who receive special education classes. This isn't the case. Gifted students receive IEPs as well. So what is an inclusive classroom? An inclusive classroom that we'll get into later in the presentation. An inclusive classroom is a classroom where every student feels represented. They feel heard, no matter their ability, their disability, their background, their socioeconomic status. They are included in the classroom, and they are not going to be bullied or anything just because of who they are or how they learn. So what's important in an inclusive classroom? Accommodations and modifications are extremely important in an inclusive classroom. Some examples of these are an extended time on assignments or tests. Maybe the desk needs to be closer to the whiteboard or the teacher so that the student can hear or see better. And a modification example would be, instead of having an open-ended test, the student could receive a multiple choice test that would better gauge their understanding. Sorry about my voice. So what else do we need to do in an inclusive classroom? We need to recognize the students that are in our classroom and their different learning styles. So some examples of this are visual, kinesthetic, and auditory. So we have visual learners, they learn from seeing it done. Kinesthetic, they learn from doing it themselves or hands-on. Auditory, they learn best from listening. But the main thing is knowing your students. If you know a student can't see well, sit them close to the board. If you know a student is an anxious presenter, allow other options to complete the assignment. And this isn't just for that specific student. If you're going to have these accommodations or modifications available, then they need to be available to all students in this scenario. Some teaching strategies, as we just mentioned, deliver instruction in multiple ways for all the different multiple types of learners. And for an English class, you would want to choose relevant literature. This could be to perhaps a student of a different culture. Say if they were of the Hispanic background, you might want to choose literature that they can relate to as well, maybe one from a Hispanic author. And the main thing is you want to create a safe space for your students. They all need to be heard. They all need to be respected. They need to feel safe in your classroom if they're going to learn. Classroom importance. Inclusion, comfort, and maximum opportunities for learning are the most important qualities in a classroom setting. I could go on and on thinking about different ways that I could make my classroom just inviting, different lighting, different ways of seating, quiet spaces, social spaces, things that these students like and that they would really feel welcome in my classroom. I think it's so fun to imagine how my classroom is going to be, and learning about these things just gets me so excited for all the different possibilities that I'll have in my classroom one day. Hopefully when my voice is better. So all students need to be respected and they need to be heard. But a main thing too is you need to integrate the students together, because these students are not going to be in an inclusive classroom if every hour they're being pulled away to go to a special ed classroom, for example. They need to be integrated together. And this is when the special ed teacher and the general education teacher, they work together to create that inclusive space for their students. And here's my resource page. Thank you so much for listening.